Just a quick shout out to China. Last week you sent our government a please explain for a Chinese national who had his cell phone taken off him and his laptop taken off him. I assure you, China, that you need to stop those illegal cigarettes coming into our country. You need to stop them coming off your wharfs before they come to this country. All Chinese cigarettes coming into this country, we are going to confiscate them and we're going to send them to Fiji where they're going to sell them at 50 cents a packet. So you're going to lose your market in Fiji on tobacco. And also plastics in foods, China. You've got plastic straws in lollipops. That's going to be banned. The international market is going to ban them. Also, China, I tell you now that this is not a joke. Food for thought. It's the 29th of September 2025. Good morning, everybody here in New Zealand, 11:15 a.m. This is a segment where I do the problems facing humanity's future, some from our past. NASA, Primal Fear produced a song for you. The end is near. Do you realise Nazi rocket scientists were employed by them and a movie director fabricated the moon landings? The simple fact is they all overlooked the lander's hatch was too small for the astronauts to get through. A rocket scientist stated, "I'd go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we have lost the technology." And astronaut Don Tit said, "We destroyed that technology." Narcissism is a word which covers many things, from vanity to self-love, like what Jesus stated to do, love thy neighbour as thyself. Some people think preachers of the gospel and those imams preaching the Quran, also wannabe Jews preaching the Torah, are narcissistic. Same as many of the comments that I make are narcissistic. Realise you get that from bug-brained thinkers. I can state, when you know you're right, nothing else matters. Narcotics are considered a problem with industrial nations. All sorts of laws have been passed with policies that actually destroy people's lives, like going to jail for a natural substance. Do you realise mankind's been smoking narcotics since before we created paper? Realise man-made drugs kill more people. Notice of intent to dissolve all nations is coming. All persons employed by any nation are hereby notified there is going to be a call for all of your resignations concerning your willful negligence and mandating vaccinations. Only those who voted against this orchestrated illegal mandate, which ignored the civil rights of all people in your nation, will maintain a civic duty position. A $1 trillion lawsuit will be recovered from the drug companies. Taxpayers are not going to pay for it. It's already being paid for. It's already ordered. This week's new word for the new millennium, numbnuts. And it refers to rocket scientists and spin doctors of information like Mossad and the NSA and here, these spin doctors down here in Wellington. Next week is the letter O, and officers and their duties and the obligations of people who hold public offices. My radio name is Jaffrey Law. Thank you for listening. Problems facing humanity's future, some from our past. Obscenity by way of language or image and by behaviour has led to the variety of laws prescribed by men. People can offend others with their opinions. Politicians are indeed negligent on many things, most of them unable to actually run a business or create a company that employs. With the attitude of ignorance, they become the ignoramus, and they all often use income taxpayers' funds to pay for lawyers to give them advice about how to defend their blatant, willful ignorance. Lawyers billing this country's government need to be made aware that that money will need to be paid back. You'll have to get it out of the politician. Officers and their duties. There are many officers in the NZCG, the New Zealand Corporate Government, and other officers in the NZ Army and the NZ Navy, none of which has ever killed a New Zealander. The NZJD and the NZPD have no peace officers. Obligations of people who hold public office positions are also mainly legally dumb. Their obligations are legally dumb. They are not lawyers. Our country's politicians are not business professionals. Skimming by way of derivatives and insider trading is just another element of the planet's financial institutions being run by number crunchers that cannot even crunch money. They are incapable of doing a day's work. And in France, giving them more money, this rich tax, is lunacy. Your government's already bankrupt, so why give them more money? Same as this country. We've got someone with a Bachelor in Old English who's running this country's books. I used to make $20 million has been paid to accountants in the last 2 years to try and balance what she cannot. Now, this week's new word for the new millennium, Omega. Oh, my ancient giddy aunt. It's especially for one in the United States of America's politicians concerning his ridiculous notions. I do enjoy the gold standard you're going to bring in, though, Mr. Trump, because that means everything you buy from New Zealand now, you're going to need to pay for it with gold. And I suggest to everyone around the world, I've told you this 12 months ago, sell all USA stock, bonds and certificates. Get rid of their money. Give their money back to them. It's going broke. Next week is the letter P, the police byword, and P is for pure, pseudoestrogen, and PC is the street word for pseudo-KK. 14 weeks ago, I was going to mention the fracking. Now, at the moment, New Zealand's in a crisis. Because of these electric cars using all our energy, we're running out of gas. This time next year, all you people with electric cars, you're going to get days you can't use them. And everyone in New Zealand, your power bill's going to go up by 50% in the next 12 months because we're running out of energy. So we need to get into this immediate oil exploration and gas exploration. We need to spend at least $500 million. Now, in the future, it's going to be off-grid housing. 90% in 10 years of the housing will be off-grid. They're going to have solar power, and there's only going to be 10% energy use on the three-phase, which is going to help with our power. So everyone needs to focus on going into off-grid housing in the future. Protests also. The BDS gathering itself is boycott, divestment and sanctions of Israel, but it's also going to be including the UK and the USA because they basically supplied Israel. They all supplied Hamas, so they brought it on themselves. February 3rd is the All Flags meet and greet on the global dissolution of all nations. That's the start of another chain letter. March 22nd to the 29th is a 7-day occupation at the Beehive. It's about the dissolution of the New Zealand government rally. April 1st is the government support rally. It's a Wednesday. That's from 1 p.m. to... They'll be singing in clowns for all who support the New Zealand government and the New Zealand police. Now, Israel created Hamas. America paid for Hamas. Yeah. All those people that went to that free concert were mainly political dissidents and people opposing the Israeli government. And hello, they all got shot and killed. Yeah. Should we call that a coincidence? Right, this is food for thought now, people. From it's the 8th to the 10th, 2025. And it's almost 11:15 a.m. We're broadcasting live from Hamilton, New Zealand. The problems facing humanity's future stem from our past. Police will also become a byword, just like Israel. 1 Kings 9:7. Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. An international entity has been investigating the NZ Police for crimes against the people in New Zealand and other South Pacific regions. The investigation also includes an incident 160 years ago in the South Waikato where a remote group of indigenous Maori were called to their church and a minister chained the doors and then set it on fire and called up the British troops who then murdered those on fire attempting to escape. And had not one 9-year-old boy escaped and one female aged 26 also not witnessed the event and hid in the bush, then I would not know of this event. P is for pure. Pseudoestrogen is the substance used in cold and flu medicines. Astronauts used it in space in the 70s. P was developed by the British Eugenics Department in 1988, looking for chemical substitutes for cocaine and opioid drugs. British soldiers used it first during World War I. The Germans all used it too. Americans during the Korean and Vietnam War. Now the Ukrainian and Israeli military personnel use it daily. Pseudo-cocaine, aka Molly, was developed by South American drug lords, all trying to sell their cocaine in a P-flooded market. Free advice for those using P: give up, buy a joint and smoke it. Point of use energy and water is the future for domestic housing, and anyone building a house at the moment, you'll need them. Primary industries are imperative initially for employment. The future of this country is in tourism, and for that to happen is by boycotting the warmongers. Boycott USA, UK, Israel, and again, sell all USA stock, bonds and certificates now. Dump them. This week's word for the new millennium, peaceman. So will become the new law enforcement officer's nickname. The peacemen and the peacemakers shall be all. Next week is the letter Q, quarantine, quarries, and the Quran. Free advice for those using P, give up, buy a joint and smoke it.